do a coolant flush today. So what you do is you unbolt the screw that goes right here. It's right here, and then you pull this out and hook it right here onto the hook latch, and it stays like that. And then jack up the car like I did, or you honestly don't need to jack it up. I was gonna disconnect the radiator hose that's on that side, underneath right here, underneath the radiator, but the clamp was facing upwards, and I don't know if you can see from right here, the clamp is right there from the hose, and I really can't get to it without doing all this out. So I'm gonna do this there on this side. Let me see, where is it at? You can't really see it, but oh, there it is. You see that white, that little white thing right there? That's a plug. You just untwist it, that little white thing right there. You untwist it, and all the radiator for the coolant is coming out underneath, and it's going everywhere because it's just hitting. I should have took off the plastics from underneath, but nah, it takes long. So I just unloosened it, and all the coolant is flushing out right now. I'm just waiting for it to flush out, and then I am going to put distilled water in here, fill it back up, run the engine till it gets warm, so all of the coolant that's inside the engine gets moved along with the water. So, and then I'm gonna flush the water, and then I'm gonna fill it up with the coolant. So this is the plug that you take out. That's right there on the side of the radiator, straight down right here. And now that it's completely flushed out, or the old coolant is flushed out, you unplug it back in. And once I plug it back in, I'm gonna add water here until it's full. Keep adding, and then I'm gonna turn on the engine, and I'm gonna let it run until the fan turns on. That means the thermostat opens, and the water goes through the engine. It gets the old coolant out from the engine, circulates it, and then I'm gonna flush it again. When you loosen that white plug, don't take it all the way, just loosen it where the liquid comes out, but the plug still stays in there, because it's just another 5 minutes of trying to put it back in there if you take it completely all the way out. So just leave it in there, save yourself a little hassle. And now that I put it back in, I'm gonna refill it with water. So I added water, leaving this open. Added water, distilled water. I turn on the car, I let it warm up. The fan turned on and off like a couple times, and then I turned off the car. And now I unplugged that, so now all the water is leaking out again. Should almost be done. And then I'm gonna put that back in. Don't tighten it too much because it's made out of plastic. You do not want to break that, because then you're gonna be screwed. So just tighten it enough, but not too much. And then you're gonna, according to the forums I read online, there should be about 1 gallon of the distilled water that you put in here in the engine. So I'm gonna add 1 gallon of straight the red long life antifreeze, Toyota antifreeze. So, and that should, with the 1 gallon that's in the engine and the 1 gallon, that should be a 50-50 mix. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so once you've put almost a full gallon, there's a little bit left. you still have it up here, right? When you're adding this, you still have it hooked up on here when you're adding, and then just keep on adding and it'll keep going down and then add. What I did is I squeezed this radiator hose right here, and squeezing it makes sucks it in faster, so it goes down faster, so you can pour more. And when you're about to be half or almost done pouring this, you're gonna notice that it's gonna stay at, you want it to stay at the full line. And once it's at the full line and you're almost done with pouring this, and it stays at the full line, it hasn't gone down, I put it down. You put it this back down here and put the bolt back on. And I am gonna start it and warm it up, and let me show you guys the procedure after. Alright, so I went ahead and turned it on, and I added a little bit of water so it could go all the way up. And I have this open, as you can see, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. It should get warm halfway, like it has. And just always make sure that thing, keep an eye on it. You don't want it to get hot. If it gets hot, turn it off immediately and let it cool down. And after 10 to 15 minutes of having the car on with the AC off, you don't have the AC off or heater off, nothing on, have it off. This should spill some, like it's doing. It's blowing out. That's taking all the air from the top of the radiator out through this right here, and that's called burping. As you can see, it should be like blowing, and once it like blows some out, go check the temperature. Like I said, always make sure it doesn't overheat. And then after, it hasn't been 10 minutes yet, and it's already burping, but like after 10-15 minutes, I'm gonna turn on the heater and to make sure it's throwing out hot air. I'm still letting it burp because the fan hasn't turned on yet. Like I said, it hasn't been 10-15 minutes, so the fan hasn't turned on yet, so it hasn't sucked in coolant into the engine yet, or turn on the pump and open the thermostat. So I'm waiting for the fan to kick on. Oh, there it is. And at this point, you want to make sure it does not overheat. And it's not overheating. All the air coming out. Still in good shape, and I'm just gonna let the fan do a couple on and offs. And you never want this to go full. I mean, to go empty. If it goes empty, it's gonna suck in air, and you have to keep on, and you're gonna have to re-burp it. So just never let this go empty. After I already added 1 gallon, I'm not gonna add any more because it's supposed to be a 50-50 mix, and it takes about max 2.3, about 2 gallons. So after adding one of these, I'm just gonna add water. So right now it's still at the top, still burping out. So now I'm gonna turn on the heater. And it appears to be cold. That is not good. I'll go check on the fuel. to 3000 and hold it there for 5 seconds, and then let it go down for 5 seconds, and then rev it up to 3000 RPM and hold it there for 5 seconds. You're gonna do that for a while. Just get the rest of the air off, and at the same time just keep an eye on the temperature. And it's better to have somebody else while you're doing that to go take a look at the like I said, you don't want it to go empty, so if you have another person to look at this while you're revving it, when you're revving it, have the heater off so you can stress the system. So yeah, since it's only me, I'm just gonna keep an eye on this, and I'm gonna add some. Added some, and now I'm gonna go rev it up again. So you're gonna be revving it to 3 and then doing that repeatedly for like about 20-30 minutes. Like I said, just make sure that never goes empty and temperature doesn't go all the way up, and that should do the bleeding. And like I said, I need to go drive it. I recommend driving it to see if everything's fine. Just take a gallon of water with you. I need to go fill up because I'm almost out of gas. I should have done this. I should put gas before. Close it and then take it for a drive. So yeah, I'm gonna do this and put gas on it. Close this up. I'm gonna go fill up gas. And I'm gonna take a gallon of water with me. So I went to go refill, and the temperature stayed the same. I took my gallon of water with me, and obviously I drove with this the cap on, but I took it off, and it hasn't gone down much, so that's good. And the rest will bleed as you drive. So in a couple of days while you're driving, just carry the gallon of water with you in case. But most of the air is already burped out. You should be good. So in the beginning the air wasn't cold when I turned on the heater, but now it is, so that's working, so that's good. And yeah, I'm just gonna turn it off.